faster, Sonic X!
And we're back with an episode that I feel maybe a lot of folks have been waiting for, since it seems like it's never the proper start of a Sentai season without folks going straight into wanting to see the leaks or just the reveals on who the hell the next member of the team is going to end up being. But while not as grandiose as others' late start to their rosters, this episode did manage to lay some foundations, potentially also expound on previous info, and brought Shirobe back to the set. So let's take a look at this week's BoonBoomger. It's practice mode here on Rainbow Road, with all the Boomgers going rent-free for the Grand Prix. Orange pulling shortcuts, but Taya got that slipstream. But while flexing that boost, a new dude cropped us through. Wait, that's it? That's all the Rainbow Road this episode? Yup. What? Shut your wannabe Conan O'Brien ass up. You ain't even no host. Might as well just call you Team Popo, cause you broke. Hey, listen, I do what I can.
You didn't even do the opening bit that folks were asking you for.
Because I thought Mirror World was a better choice.
Oh? Well, let me show you how well Deno cooks.
My name is Sakito Hamura. I am the fastest cleaner alive. When I was a child, I went missing. But in reality, the impossible happened. To the outside world, I'm just a purple stud that's better than everyone. But secretly, I'm just a purple stud that's better than everyone, but with a tire on my face. I am the Violet Streak.
Boy, we eating good in the Den Liner tonight. Let's see what the audience thinks of your choices.
Wait. This scene? Really? This scene? Revice was a better watch than Gotchard is currently? So besides Wild Deno going straight past the first half of this episode, let's backtrack a bit, as it appears that the interdimensional crop duster emitted a signal from his boom boom. Turns out that everything Bunjrio makes boom boom. Well, what about that interdimensional traveler from before? Well, it turns out that I completely forgot that the BoonBoomgers themselves have never really encountered Cannonboard. Similar to how the Hashidians also have never formally encountered Bunjrio. Surely, there is meaning behind all of this. Though Cannonboard is particularly waiting eagerly for his package, similar to how when you see your package is out for delivery, you give up everything as you look outside the window, just waiting for the mailman to arrive with that package. Just every 5 minutes, looking, waiting. You hear a car, and you're disappointed that it's not your package. Anyway, this item comes straight from HQ, and the delivery man is the best around. Second best, I mean. And who is that?
Hey, we got some soda, OJ, purple stuff, Sunny Delight.
Whoa, not Sunny D, but Bune D and Purple Stuff. Though it appears that this is Purple Guy's home planet, but it doesn't matter, he only lives for
chaos.
And how to clean it up, since he's got his boom signal booning, which is just the right amount of
Chaos.
necessary to stir the pods. First is stopping Joe from being good cop, getting Mira moist, procuring before Genba, tailing Chashiro, and finally taking the show straight to Taya. But Taya like he as well, so names are in order. First and only is him, Homura Sakito. Now that he's made his entrance to the Boomgers, it's time to make his entrance to the Hashidians and try to get that kitty wet as well. However, there is initial shock at Bro's attire since he looks just like them other Boomgers, except flashier and with names all over the place. So it looks like Purple Stuff and Bune D have definitely rolled right into some
Bullshit.
You know what? Sure. Just in time to deliver the goods to Cannonboard, and to tell him that HQ thinks he's doing one hell of a job. But while Cannonboard fawns over repainted props, Violet Streak leaves. But no matter. He's got other plans for this sword and Oh, no? Oh! You mean we get another Rider Deathstream to join in the fray? Now back to purple stuff. Since Bundrio looks back at the footage to see that new guy is rocking his Boom Boom controller. See, Boom Boom made it so he'd have the juice for the BBG, but he couldn't get used to the G's and just tossed that thing. In short,
You're too slow!
and even though Boom Boom tossed that thing, how'd it end up in the hands of a human? Though, coincidentally, a 10-year-old with the same name as Homura went missing some years back. But enough about that, we've got another Deathstream to deal with. And even with their sleek roll call, they just can't match the stream of that power. So proud of how good this groomer turned out that Cannonboard finally makes his proper debut to the team, realizing that he was the one behind a lot of the changes the show has taken thus far. But when all looks bleak, some guy just streaks on in! Though the Boomgers recognize him, the Hashidians don't. So let's change that as we get the formal transformation of Boon Violet. And just like that, a proper 6th debut. And it's bombastic as all hell, with streaks of violet blur as he gives the smashdown on another Deathstream. Finishing things off with a Rider King. Oh, what? That's not what I expected? Oh, he's not done yet. He's got that arrow shoot. Though, return to that blade, it's now stronger than ever. But the Boomgers wonder, what's Violet's deal? Well, his buddy BoonD wants to meet with the maker of that controller to continue the rivalry that him and Bundrio had back in the day. With this episode of BoonBoomger, we get the debut of Boon Violet. So with that, let's talk forms. So, this show has a lot of I've gotten used to it by now syndrome, as my initial thoughts on the suit weren't that great, but look, they still aren't. I've just gotten used to the suit. I tolerate it because it is what we got, but the ensemble of it together with the yellow mixed in just ain't doing it for me. And yes, I know by now what they're going for with these looks. It doesn't mean I have to like them. The tire on the face even more so, since you can see what part of the tire the visor actually is. I just don't get why they made the top part a matte finish while the bottom part is the glossy visor part. It should have all just been one thing. What I do find weird is his F1 racing finisher kick thing that only uses the feet tires for the movement, even though he's got rear tires on his back, and it just would have made it seem a little bit more streamlined, you know, like when the Boomgers actually go into their vehicles. Just kind of felt very off. I would say that this is probably one of my least favorite suits, especially as far as a 6th is concerned. And going back down the line, I would say this might be my least favorite 6 suit since Zoo the World. That chest piece. No. Rating time! This episode was enjoyable with a lot of potential seed plants. And I would say that the issue that I had with this episode, and the biggest preventer of a higher score, comes with the way they chose to play particular scenes in a particular order. But as for the introduction of the 6th on the squad, it's good for what it does while introducing a new character insert theme and actually omitting the big fight this go around. But otherwise, really enjoyed this episode, and thus it is actually getting the ABBA Ranger A! So, going right into things, I find that the flow of the episode is a little odd, since after Sakito gets alerted to the Boom Boom signal, he proceeds to tail the Boomgers, only to then run into the Hashidians and find out that there are other Boomgers out there? Then he proceeds to leave again, just for us to see a workaround of the previous scene again of Bundrio realizing that he's rocking the Boom Boom controller. If anything, the Hashidians meeting should have come first, and then the confrontation of each Boomger, and then Bunryo's explanation of the situation. I went out of my way on my third rewatch to cut the first scene of Bunryo reacting to the controller, just completely deleted it, and moved Sakito's interactions with the other Boomgers into just after the Hashirian scene with the sword monster and all, and it just vastly improves the episode in terms of a narrative structure. Now, that being said, there are quite a few things to unpack here. First, of course, is the boom boom signal that is unique to everything Bunryo specifically makes. What's great about this is that we know that Robo Killer and none of its components emit that signal. However, we did get a small nugget in the episode that could explain a good bit of what could tie into some backstory. The sword that Sakito delivers was made by a craftsman on planet Reflector, and the Boomgers did not see the blade in its native state. But given that the style of everything thus far does vibe with Bunryo's style, this could be a tie-in to where Bunryo learned his craft from. So either the creator of the sword was Bunryo's mentor in the creation arts, or they themselves are Bunryo's admirer and tried to emulate what he's done. At a first glance, you could assume that Reflector is either Bunryo's homeworld, so it's all the skills that all of them seem to have, but we can deduce that that's not the case, given that BoonD is actually from Bunryo's homeworld and he doesn't seem to have the same creation aspect as him. After all, Sakito is just using Bunryo's controller. Another thing that this could mean is that Bunryo could indeed have a relation with a future major villain, since the architect of the blade seems to be aligned with the Hashirians as a whole, and even Cannonborg fans over the maker's work. This could all just be future upgrades to Boom Boom Killer Robo and just what I'm aspiring to mentality for what this show could potentially have. The next potential seed plant is the controller itself. Bunryo mentions that he never quite was able to have full control over the speed output from it. And if you remember previously, he said that his license was revoked and unable to compete in the BBG because of something. But what if that controller was the something? And the fallout was him being unable to control that speed, and it resulted in a major accident. Then we get into the Sakito of it all. And look, I read that his name was supposed to be a pun on circuit, but the more I say it, the more it sounds like socket to me. But yeah, he's someone that went missing at the age of 10 years old, and somehow ended up going into space and met BoonD. Now, this is a theory that I would normally consider reaching, but given how within the context of the shows themselves, we've had crossovers within these past seasons, like how a few weeks back we actually had Go On Red in this show, and previously with the King Ogers, they had a crossover with Kyoryuger in their own show. So I looked at the actor of Sakito's age, and he would have been 10 years old at around 2005. And around that time, Maji Ranger started, but Decker Ranger was ending. And although not as space travel-y then as it is now, Decker Ranger does feature aliens and is coming back in multiple ways. So what if Sakito's whole disappearance at 10 years old actually is a tie-in to the Decker Ranger anniversary projects and crossovers currently going on? Hell, we even have King Ogers in Space Special, and given that we kind of play loosely with the whole time dilation of things, that could play a factor in this entire narrative. Sentai in general has really been playing up the shared continuity recently, much better than Kamen Rider is doing with whatever the hell Outsiders is trying to be. But now, once again, that is just my tinfoil hat theory regarding the factoid, and it could just be played a lot more simpler than that, but I'm kind of reaching for the moon when it comes to this one. Otherwise, onto the episode itself, Sakito's dynamic with the team does make it seem like an interesting one, since he seems to be the type that plays all sides as long as he's on top at the very end. He's made connections with the Hashirians themselves and of course the Boomgers coming up, but I hope that the dynamic with him and the Boomgers is that of a rivalry with forced collaborations from time to time, with of course the eventual bonds being formed, but just not going straight into the team dynamic. When you factor in that BoonD is already a long-term rival with Bunryo, I would like Sakito to do the same with the rest of the team. Having Sakito just join the team right away would lead to two potential problems in my eyes, depending on how they play it out. First, information. Sakito's got it. He's met the other Hashirians and knows their structure. He would give them too much info too soon regarding the bad guys. Let that shit simmer. Second is the BBG. Since I think most of us are expecting the BBG to round out the first half of the show, having him join the squad would ruin the potential road rivalry that he would have with the others. And I don't know about you all, but road rivalries are usually peak if done right. So if the BBG is at least the round out for the halfway point, don't have Sakito become a proper part of the team until after that's resolved. If the show goes a different direction, I just hope it still cooks and doesn't come off underwhelming by that point. If the show does go in a different direction, and if there's like a 90% possibility that it does, I hope it just still continues to cook and doesn't come off underwhelming by that point. Since I do think we got some good information this week and hope it does get played off or paid off the correct way, or at least a smart way. Once again, the action for this show is still on point, and that new insert theme, boy, I need to hear the full version of that without the sound effects and shit. I need that uploaded stat so I can listen to it, because I haven't checked. It might be uploaded now. I'll probably check later. Also, can we get some more character songs? I feel like we've been spoiled by King Oja's OST because we got all those character songs really early, while here we've had, you know, the one insert theme and then Boon Violet's character song. Can I get the rest? Can I get some more of that? But yes, those are my thoughts. What are yours? What did you think about this week's Violet streak? Bundrio, losing control. Cannonboard, refining the blade. And Sakito, building that rivalship. Anyway, that's it from me. I will catch you on the next one and see you real boom.